Okay, so what we've done so far, just for a quick recap, is we've had a quick look at under club and profile. We've had a quick look at the admins that we've added to the system. We've manually added an admin. We've jumped in and we've viewed one of our members, which is a connected member. That's actually ourselves or us. We've gone across into members. We've imported some members. We've then seen those members now sorted into the teams that they were imported with. And we've gone in and created a venue, which is North Stadium. That's an additional venue to the North's Oval venue that we've got set up. And what we're going to do now is we're going to create some schedules and a schedule group that we can then connect to our venue so that we can see the schedules on the calendar and so that we can then start connecting schedules we've created to our teams and groups within the club. So we head into club again, click on schedules, and under schedules, we have actually very intentionally structured the system in a way that is going to help you be more organized with how you schedule and manage the many schedules you're likely to have within a sports club. So the first thing that you do in schedules is you actually create a schedule group. Now, you don't have to conform to our sort of suggestions for how you should be setting up your system. We would say that the best way to do it is to group your schedules into smaller groups than just an entire season. And as you can see here, we've got senior team schedules. So this might be just our under 23s men's, our men's first grade, women's first grade, that sort of thing. It's just going to be our senior teams. And by putting them in a schedule group, we've got a bit more sort of transparency and visibility over all of the many schedules that might be likely to clash or trainings and events that are going to be happening at the same time. So you go and you click create schedule group. You can put in any sort of schedule group that you want. So we've done senior team schedules here. Select an event type for the schedule group. And once you've created it, it's going to take you through to then be able to manage the schedule group from here. And what we can do if we need is we can head back at any time, but just to go into it again, click view there. It takes us into our schedule and we've got a schedule already set up for our men's first grade team. But we're going to go through and create another schedule. And this is, again, some really intentional stuff that we've added into the system to make things a little bit easier for our clubs. Where previously on Sportswalk, what you had to do is if you wanted to create a schedule, you would be going into a team or group within the club and then creating a schedule against that team or group. What you can do now is you can actually just go into schedules as we have, create a schedule group, and you can create a schedule without having to link it to a team or group in the first place, which means you can do all of your schedules for the year ahead or the season ahead. And then once you've created them, you can then connect them to teams or groups, because we understand that obviously clubs don't always have all their teams or groups sorted for the season ahead. Sometimes you like to do training schedules very early in pre-season just to get an idea of what your field allocations are going to look like. And then once you've got everything sorted out, you can go in and connect them to a team or group within your club. And then that'll show up on their end and they'll be able to mark attendance or add attendance. They can add notes to the session and they can start to manage more specific details of that session. So what we'll do is we'll click create schedule. This opens up the schedule creation pop-up. We can go in and we'll type in for this one, under 23 men's trainings. We'll select the schedule type as training. We can select a calendar color. So we're going to set it as orange. That's what it'll come up as on the calendar. It's going to be a weekly event and we want trainings to be every Tuesday and Thursday. And the said schedule group is going to be under the senior team schedules that we've got set up. Now you'll notice we've got a schedule start and a schedule end date, and something that we've added to the system again here, very intentional just to make life a little bit easier for our clubs and our club volunteers, is something called preferences. So usually what would happen is your start date would just be blank and your end date would be blank. But if you click preferences, you can actually go in and you can basically set up a start and end date for your seasons so that every time you schedule training sessions, the default start date is whatever you set it to and the default end date is whatever you've set it to as well. So we'll go in and we'll say our season or our trainings are starting 4th of March and our season or the trainings will end at let's call it the 28th of March. We'll click save, and those are now our default dates. Every single time we create a schedule, it's going to start from the 4th of March and it's going to end the 28th of August. I can also do the same for the start and finish time for sessions. Now this is obviously going to have a bit more of a spread and change a bit more, but at least if it's 6 to 9, that might cover, we'll say 6 to 8:30. That might cover most of our teams within the club that are going to be, we're going to be scheduling sessions for. So we'll set our preferences, we click continue, and that's going to give us our 2 days down the bottom that we're setting up for the under 23 men's trainings. It's got our default times in there for us. We can now select our fields and locations that we want to link it to. They're both going to be on North's Oval Field 1. We click Create Schedule. That's just going to take a second. And once it's loaded, we can now see the under 23 men's training is set up and all of these training sessions are here down the bottom. But what hasn't happened is that this hasn't been added to a team yet. So the under 23 men's trainings aren't going to be appearing for the under 23 men's team. And if we go across into groups and teams, we can see that while we've set up these schedules, we haven't actually linked them to any of our teams yet. So what we're going to do, and that we can see that's the case because under team or group, we can't see that there's any teams listed there for the two sessions we've got or the two schedules we've got in this schedule group. So what we do is under groups and teams, we can also do it by clicking connect groups or teams, but we'll do it from groups and teams. We click add teams or groups. We select our under 23 men's squad. We select the under 23 men's trainings and we click connect to schedule. It'll take a second. And then once it loads across, we should be able to click down and see all of those sessions are now connected to our under 23 men's team. And in a second, it will also show up here. So that's just taking a bit to load, but we can see down the bottom here, the difference with this schedule and the way that we know it's been linked to a team or group is that we've now got attendance, event notes, and members. And these are still areas of the system that we're adding a lot of features to at the moment, but your members can go in and mark attendance on the app. We've got some event notes that they can add, and members is to do with the actual statistics and data of members against an individual event or a session. So that might be how many minutes they've played or a ranking from the coach or the manager about their performance at this particular session within this schedule. So that is a bit of a look at our schedules, getting started with them. And in the next video, we're going to go across into teams and groups. So we go back under members and then teams and groups, and we're going to jump into how to create a group, an individual group, and then how to add members into that group and how to manage the group itself and view that group from your MyClub members page.